All right, well, BMW India is on a roll in India, and of course, it just witnessed a record number of sales in the entire half year, in the entire quarter, and of course, in the month of June. And I'm joined by the president of BMW India, Mr. Vikram Pawah. Mr. Pawah, thank you so much for joining us. First question to you: give us the holistic sense of the numbers, sir, because it gives out an indication of the rising number of luxury vehicles in India and the demand subsequently. But give us the number of what you're anticipating and what you have actually delivered on the ground.
Okay, if you look at the first half of 2023, we've delivered over 5,800 cars between our two brands, BMW and Mini, and 4,700 roughly motorcycles, which is only a 6-year-old business for us in India. So a great result there, and I think if I look at it, although it shows only a growth of 5% for cars, but we had some supply restrictions in the first 4 months, so actually the supply started only from May. So if I look at May and June performance, it's 32% growth. And the bike segment has grown by 50%. So absolutely fantastic result, a good start to the year. We have a great order pipeline. All the new models that we launched at the start of the year are really performing well. And now we are getting into this high gear in the second half of this year, trying to supply all the products that the customers have been demanding.
Well, sir, also, if I could mention about the supply restrictions that you were facing, could you give us a sense on what really the issue was and how have you resolved it and what is the backlog currently?
So I think the supply restrictions started way back in 2021, if you remember, after COVID, then we had the semiconductor crisis, then we had the geopolitical issues where few parts were affected as well. So since then, it has been improving month on month. But end of last year, again, we had some logistical issues. The entire global logistics supply chain was impacted, which impacted some supply to us at the first quarter of this year. Since then, we have recovered from that. The semiconductor issue is much, much under control. So now we have all the supplies secured. The logistical issues also, we have found other ways of rerouting our parts to various parts of the world. So now I'm confident in the second half we'll be able to really get back into full gear and supply all our customers. So we have currently 2,500 backlog of cars and 1,500 of bikes, which we'll be supplying in the second half.
All right. Also, a two-part question to you now. First of all, when I was reading the numbers, 128% growth in the 7 Series and a 50% growth you mentioned in the two-wheeler space. Are you kind of seeing a trajectory towards more demand for ultra luxury vehicles?
No, I think we're seeing demand across the spectrum. So if I look at it, we launched the new 7 and i7 in February this year. We also launched the XM, and also we launched the updated version of our favorite SUV X7. So if I look at these 4 products, yes, you're right, they've grown by 128% compared to last year, and now they contribute almost 20% of our sales. But at the same time, when I look at X1, which was also an absolutely new product that we launched in January this year, and the delivery started in April, there's a growth of 50% from that as well. And we have a solid performer in 3 Grand Limousine, which we launched 2 years ago. We did an updated version earlier this year again. Again, 20% of our volume is coming from that. So if you look at it, there are 3 key products that are driving us currently in terms of growth, which is the X1 entry level. You have the 3 Grand Limousine, which is the famous sedan, I would say executive sedan in India, and also the luxury segment. And I think once this is launched, the X5, it will become the 4th pillar for us as well.
Absolutely. Also indicating towards a 50% growth in the two-wheeler segment. Siam and Vahandit also came out. We saw reasonably 1.5 to 2% growth in the two-wheeler space. So is it a start towards the two-wheeler segment in India eventually reviving after years of degrowth?
No, I think our segment of two-wheelers is a little bit different than the rest of two-wheelers. Ours is not commuting bikes. We cater to the leisure segment here. So all the luxury bikes, even our 310cc is mostly used for leisure, not for commuting. So I think there's a little bit of difference between the rest of the two-wheeler industry and us, and the rest of the two-wheeler industry is huge. I mean, in terms of volume, you're talking about 15, 16 million units, and we are talking about, we did 7,000 units last year in our segment. So we are growing because I think the leisure activity is growing much more.
Okay.
That's what we have seen. After COVID, there's a rapid development of leisure activity. And the products that we have launched, so especially the locally produced product of 310R, 310GS, which we launched in 2018, we were the first ones to create that segment. And then since then, last year, we launched the 310RR. So these 3 products contribute to 90% of our sales now. And I think that's a great testament of a made in India product suitable for India. People love it. They really appreciate it, and we still have a backlog of 1,500 units to supply.
Absolutely. And coming back to the SUV segment, it's constantly on the constantly on the rise vis-a-vis a sedan and entry-level cars that not really contributing much to the volumes for the auto industry. I'd like to ask you, how is the SUV space contributing to your growth and volumes?
So in our space, if you look at BMW, we have at every price point, we have a SUV and a sedan, or a sedan formatted. For example, in the entry level, we have a X1 and a 2 Grand Coupe. Similarly, at the top end, we have a 7 Series and X7 to compare with. So our portfolio is very well balanced, and our sales come from 50% SUVs and 50% sedan. So it's a very good balance. Yes, SUV did grow last year in 2022 because we introduced the X7, we introduced the X3 again as the refresh version. So obviously it revived, but now it's a good balance between the two for us.
So BMW will continue to see a 50% growth each in balanced growth, or do you think by any chance SUV sales could surpass sedans for BMW?
I think it depends on customer preferences during the year. I think and it purely depends on the product substance. So when we launched the 7 Series, the kind of demand we're getting for 7 Series is as you would get for SUV, because that's the product substance in there. Okay, but let's see. Let's see what happens with the X5, whether it skews towards SUV. But I think we'll still have offering on every price level for both.
Okay.
And I think all our product substance is absolutely fantastic at the moment.
Also, Mr. Pawah, I'd like to ask you, since we are speaking on SUVs, a cess was recently announced by the government. So SUV, MPVs all together are in the same tax bracket. So are you kind of affected, or are you, planning to hike that prices by 2% further? Are you going to absorb it? What is in the state for the BMW consumers?
It's a bit too early to comment on that, because I think the information came out only in the press 2 days ago or so. We haven't seen the notification as yet. Even the industry body, CIM, is asking for some clarification on the testing procedure, on the implications. So I think once we get more details, we'll be able to share the impact of it.
But as of initial assessment that you have?
No, very difficult, because right now we haven't even seen the notifications. Sure. It's very difficult to comment on it at the moment.
Also, all right. So, coming towards the end of my interview, I'd like to ask you on, we are seeing a staggered growth when it comes to the entry-level vehicles. So, for your entry-level vehicles, I know they're luxury, of course, but the 3 Series and the entry-level cars, are you kind of concerned yet, yes, that there could be a probability that the luxury cars could surpass the entry-level vehicles for your brand also?
Not at all. Not at all. I think for us, we got a very good balance as a brand. Like I said, my reliance on X1, which is an entry-level SUV, along with 2 Grand Coupe, is equivalent to the super luxury class. We have a good balance there, and I think it's got to do with in that segment at the entry level, we are bringing more people into the premium segment. Okay. For example, I've seen that with the new X1, 76% of people who are buying the new X1 are actually coming into premium for the first time.
Wow. Okay.
Which is fantastic. Wow. So that you can't beat. And when you look at super luxury, it's not that people are coming from outside the premium. They're within the premium segment, and they're choosing BMW over everything else. So there are 2 different aspects of the segment that we work in, and I think both are performing well for us at the moment.
All right. So also towards the electric vehicles, sir, is there a plan to assemble electric vehicles into Chennai facility? And if you are planning, by what timeline are you looking at?
I think it's just a matter of time. I can't share with you exactly when we will do that, because I think we introduced the electric vehicle only last year into the country, and we were the first one to introduce the widest portfolio. Now we have 4 distinct electric vehicles. We have the mini hatch, we have the i4 executive sedan, we have the iX, which is an SUV, and also the i7, which is a luxury limousine. So we have a great variety for our customers to choose from. And I'm really happy to say that in the first 6 months of this year, we actually are absolute leaders in the electric space in the premium segment. We have 50% market share in this area, and I think we have a bestseller in iX, which is absolutely suitable car for India. And that car alone, sells more than all the premium EVs combined. Wow. It's that wonderful a car, and I think that's a great tick in the box, or a great thumbs up from our customers, saying that absolute fantastic car, because the usage conditions in India are absolutely perfect for it. They can easily charge at their home because we provide them a charging station. It's a full-blown SUV, spacious, with all the technology, with the road presence, with sustainability. So I think a great package which customers are really, really appreciating, and we continue to provide that value to our customers.
So what volumes are you anticipating with the electric vehicle portfolio into the Indian market now?
So So I expect that from a demand side, we'll end up with 15% demand of our total volume as electric in this year. But again, you have to remember that electric is not available at every price point at the moment. When we do that over the next 2 or 3 years, by 2025, I expect 30% of our sales coming from electric.
And how many new products are we expecting electric vehicles towards the Indian
Well, I
market?
won't say electric, I'll tell you the total products that we are going to launch. So when we started the year, we said we launched 19 cars and 3 bikes. The X5 is our 12th car launch now in this year. So in the first half, we have launched 12. 7 more to come in car segment. Some surprises there, which we'll keep it for you later. and 1 bike to be launched as well later.
Last question. Also, is BMW kind of little worried about the Tesla coming over to India, subsequently becoming the third largest manufacturer if the proposal, or what is it said about 5 lakh cars goes through? Any comment on that?
I can't comment on that. I mean, it's their plan, what they have. I'm not privy to that, but I always welcome competition. I'm a leader in this segment. Most welcome, because the market expands if anybody comes in and leader benefits at the end.
Absolutely. Well, that was Mr. Vikram Pawah, candid as always, speaking about how competition is healthy. And of course, with the 7 new cars coming up, the consumers and the viewers for BMW are surely in for a surprise. Mr. Pawah, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.